All right, guys, so we have this GX that we just finished up, and really all we did on this truck is we did our riff rack and our rock sliders. But we don't talk enough about the quality of the level that our guys and our team tries to put out there in the marketplace, and just some of the things that make our stuff just far nicer, I feel, than a lot of the stuff that's out there. Actually, I feel like it's far nicer than anything out there, and that's why I talk about it. And so what I want to do is I want to share with you some of the things that make our riff racks a little bit different than the other riff racks out there on the marketplace. We've been asked a lot of times on our GX rock sliders, are we going to make them for the new KDSS systems from the 22 to current models? So what we've done is the passenger side rock slider is the standard one. It's the driver's side that the plates are configured a little bit different. And this is so we can get it and accommodate up on the KDSS up in the front on these. But one of the things I want to talk about on our rock sliders, and we try to show this on video and try to emphasize this to customers. I'm talking about them because of the quality that we stand for and the quality that we've built in these rock sliders and the steps we've also taken to build these rock sliders to make them above and beyond what other rock slider companies build for theirs. We only hire the top welders in the country. Make sure that every time we build these things that we build them to the highest level, and the inspection process that we go through to make sure before they ever leave our shop, they meet all the criteria that we're looking for. But I want to share with you just some of the things. They've been powder coated, so it really makes it a little bit harder to see some of the fine details that are involved or what's in these rock sliders. If you just look at some of the welds on these and then the welds around all here, when we put these together and we weld them together and they're made in these fixtures, they're really done really nicely. And the coping and everything and just how the dimes are laid on these rock sliders make them that much nicer. These particular rock sliders on this are set at 0 degrees with top plates, and they're DOM, and these are MIG welded. The MIG welded rock sliders definitely show through the textured finish, show a lot better. They're both very nice either way. You just don't get to see the detail in the TIG welded like you do in the MIG weld. But the thing about the TIG welded rock sliders is they're double passed. So they're welded once and then they weld again over the top of them. And that's just how they get the dimes to stack so nicely. And yes, they are a little bit stronger and they do take 3 times as long to make because the process of building a set of TIG welded rock sliders versus a MIG welded set of rock sliders. So I want to share with you just some of the detail work in here and then our top plates and stuff like that. We go through these rock sliders and we polish every piece of tubing before we ever make them, or before we even cut them on the laser. We polish every piece of plate before we start to form the plate on both sides. And that's just to make it so when we weld, we've got a really good surface area to bond with. The other thing is that when we put these in a powder coat, we sandblast the rock slider completely. Then what we do is we go with an etching primer over the top of them, and then we go back again and then we do a textured finish. It's called BK59 Cardinal texture finish on this, and it just makes the rock slider so nice from start to finish on these. All right guys, so I want to talk a little bit about our riff rack. Personally, had many of the riff racks that are out on the marketplace, and before we ever started making riff racks, the things that bothered me most about them was the wind noise and the squeaks and the rattles on the roof of the car or even in the car. So I decided that when we were going to come up with a roof rack, we were going to make sure that our roof rack had no wind noise when adjusted properly. Why don't you put something on that's going to help enhance the fuel economy for the vehicle over the factory roof rack, or have less wind noise than the car ever did from the factory? So a lot of time has gone in on all of our roof rack designs to ensure that that's how it is. We talk about all the time about how the angle of the windshield, we want to carry it up through the roof rack to get the air to flow over the top of the roof rack. The other thing we talk about is how when the air breaks around the side of the vehicle, we want to minimize the amount of air that actually can get underneath the roof rack and up into the crossbars on the vehicle. And so what we've done is we've also minimized the holes in the side of the roof rack to keep those from being places where air can get through or create turbulence or create whistling noises through the roof rack. You can see just how tight the front of the visor on the roof rack fits to the roof. It fits right onto the roof of the vehicle. We've only got about 2 or 3 inches here maximum that are not touching, but that's just because of the design of the roof itself. But we've tucked this thing on as tight as we can get it. We've actually doubled up the brackets here on the side on the GX Riff Rack, and that is so we can't even get any kind of movement up here in the front of the vehicle. But we've designed the Riff Rack to have no wind noise without any light on it at all. Different lights change the way that air flows across the top of the Riff Rack. This one happens to be a Baja Designs, and it does have little drop downs here and these little openings, and that does create a little bit of wind noise, but it's not the roof rack, it's the light bar on that. We also talk about just how nice the hardware is on our roof racks. We use all stainless steel hardware throughout. We also do is we go back and we black oxide coat all of our bolts to just really tie the colors in nicely on them and just make our stuff take to the next level of quality when we talk about our roof racks. There are companies out there that take this roof rack, this aluminum side here, and what they do is they take it and they extend it and they bend the bracket underneath here. But when that bracket gets bent, that aluminum is already fatigued, and when it's bent, it actually creates stress cracks in the aluminum and it weakens it. And then as you push weight down on the vehicle, it actually causes it to continue to bend itself. So what we decided to do is to take our brackets and build them separately and build them out of a steel plate and then put a 90-degree bend in them, and they actually bolt in from the backside here, and we're able to get the roof rack sucked tighter to the roof here. And as you can see, there's probably a credit card distance across the whole side all the way down to keep that really nice tight fit. But with that bracket being steel like that, we're able to put it on a 90-degree bend, and when you put downward force on it, it has to try to bend that 90-degree bend that's already in there, which makes it very hard. One of the things that people ask all the time, how much weight will your roof rack hold? And I have to explain to them that our roof rack will hold far more than the mounting points on the roof of the vehicle. So it's not the roof rack that is the point that's going to cause failure. It's going to be the mounting points to where it bolts into the roof. So typically these roofs come in at about 750 pounds before they start to fatigue themselves at the mounting points bolted up. Each one of these crossbars is good to 250 pounds. If the weight's distributed evenly across this roof rack, the roof rack would hold a good 2,200 pounds. The other thing is about our roof rack is the way we designed it all the way to the back here. You can see we also matched all the angles up here on the back of the roof rack, and there we have our signature bottle opener on it. These crossbars are extrude honed crossbars. They're a 2-inch wide by 1-inch tall, and that's really the tracks on it are a 1/4-20, which is very common. It's probably the most commonly used slot tracking that's out there for the crossbars. These are type 2 hard anodized crossbars. Many other companies that are out there make different attachments for them. A lot of the attachments will attach that other companies offer as well through the side here, so that you're not limited on what you're going to attach to this, or if you're limited on just stuff that Westcott makes for this. We actually don't have a lot of accessories for these. And the reason we don't is because so many companies out there offer so many different accessories that will bolt directly up to our roof rack that we don't feel like it's necessary that we have a whole bunch of different accessory parts. We'd rather continue developing other really cool, innovative parts for the consumers out there and spend less time on the trinket things that can be mounted to this roof rack, because there are so many options out there. We hope you guys enjoy this. I hope this is good information for you. And we like to always tell people, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're always here for you as a company. My wife, Jessica, and myself, Jeff, we're happy to take your phone calls personally to help you in any way you need help or answer questions. And I tell people this all the time. In all cases, our products may not be for you, but I would more than happy to lead you down the road to help educate you or teach you or show you some of the things on why maybe this other product's more for you or not for you, or whatever the case may be. We're here for you, and I want you to truthfully know that that's how we have built our brand and our company, is that it's not all about selling our products. It's about educating people on different products that are out there, even our own. And we do a lot of testing on other products along with our products to make sure that we are up there at the top with what's out there in the marketplace. Again, I just want to say thank you for watching. We really appreciate each and every one of you out there. Without all of you, we couldn't be doing what we love and are passionate about every single day. And if you can't get that I'm as passionate as I am about what I do after talking about stuff to you guys, I mean, we are. I love what I do, and I love to make nice things for you guys. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to us with any questions. Thanks again for watching.